Smallville.
Things we did not enjoyeth.
Season 1, Episode 2, it's called Metamorphosis. And do you know what's funny? Because I had seen these, obviously, when they were airing, give or take.
Yeah.
There's odd little moments of recognition where I remember something. And oddly, it's after the opening titles, the song that plays as it cuts to this fair, this farmer's market. Like, I knew it as soon as I heard it. I was like, oh, yeah, I always remember this song playing at this bit, somehow.
Yeah, Weezer.
Is it Weezer? There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not as familiar with Weezer. I do want to point out, though, there's a lot of source music in this.
There is.
And I really want to point out that we have a villain who's bug-based.
He's shit evil Spider-Man.
Shit evil Spider-Man. And of course, Papa Roach start playing.
I had such a shit-eating grin on my face as well. I was like, I've not heard this song in about a decade.
You know what I don't even hate Papa Roach. Like I was at the right age to enjoy some of their songs when they were a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're still probably making music, but I mean when they were, new and fresh and people knew who they were. I'm sure 15-year-olds today don't know who Papa Roach are.
Yeah. Why would they give a shit?
But so this song starts playing. I'm like, okay, and then later on he's got a poster in his room. There's a Papa Roach poster in his room. This big cockroach. I'm like, okay, we're really going with this. So the opening, the pre-credit section of this episode is we actually pick up. Well, actually, before we even get to the scenes in this episode, did you think the previously on was really slow paced?
Yes, and I think this is something I forgot it used to be a thing. Network TV always used to do this with episode 2s, in my experience, where they'd be like, hey, in case you missed the pilot where we set up everything, here's everything you needed to know. And it kind of, if my memory goes, most shows kind of picked up as they went on.
It may just be that, but I don't know. I felt that just because I feel like you could have conveyed the same information just at a quicker pace. Whereas here it felt like, no, there was entire moments and scenes lingering in these previously on clips. I was like, that's just weird. Like, what?
It is. I think it's just an episode 2 thing, though. I mean,
well, we'll find out next week. Yeah, we'll find out in episode 3.
From memory.
But yeah, so it sort of plays off right where we left, where Clark's just sort of looking over at Lana, and he goes up to the sky. Comes, but we get so someone else has watched her and left some butterflies in her room, and then we get the creepy bug boy. Who's got warts all over his face. He's got the long streaky hair. He's like, and here's my first problem with this episode: is he's a terrible actor. The character is awful. Immediately, he is this cliche who does not feel believable at all. He goes home to his mother, and obviously he's too old for a start. But forgetting that, because that's just a common complaint. In the show.
I think that's just something we can just go, okay, that's consistently going to be the case. Let's not mention it every time.
Yeah. But he, like, the way he argues with it, he's like, oh man, the bugs, who's going to look after my bugs if you send me to military school? And he's doing this voice and it sounds awful. It's like this caricature of what a teenager's supposed to sound like.
Yes, exactly.
It is awful. It is like face palming awful. And of course, it's actually the end of the scene when he mentions the bugs, where he yells out, who's going to look after my bugs? And right at the end of the scene. And I'm like, this is just so bad.
I know.
Like, and then he goes in the car and it's Papa Roach playing and he crashes.
Well, my question, Papa Roach, obviously it works for that type of character. That's the sort of, stereotype. Do you think they chose it just because it was Roach and that's buggy?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
I thoroughly believe they did, yes.
I mean, to be fair, it's the sort of thing where in another show I'd go, yeah, they chose this because it's, this sort of character's music that is very stereotypical of the time.
Don't get me wrong, I feel like it would have probably shown up at some point anyway, but I feel like they specifically picked it here because it was the Bugs theme villain.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah. So yeah, I've got some sort of base complaints as well, but other things.
Let's work through them.
So number 1, Whitney. I want to say Whitey there. It's a godless. I've got Whitey in my head. It
doesn't look too dissimilar.
Yeah, but so Whitney, they're at the farmer's market. Clark's there. His parents are there, and Lana's like, "Hey, Clark, why weren't you at the dance last night?" And he's like, "Oh, I got tied up."
It was a bit tied up. I was like, yes, very good. And I was like, I bet you love that stupid pun, didn't you prick?
Not when it's coming from the wood that is Tom Welling, no. When I deliver a bad pun, I've got a smirk in my face.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You deliver them as straight as you possibly can.
Okay, but the smirk appears afterwards. I'm knowing that I'm doing it. He's just... That was a straight line. He didn't even acknowledge that he just made a pun.
He's smirking on the inside.
Well, it's more smirking than he does on the outside in the 10 seasons of this show.
It might well be.
Expression? Huh.
Yes, what's that?
Tom Welling laughs in the face of expression.
Well, no, he didn't. That would be an expression.
That was the joke.
I know. I'm playing it up for making it redundant. I like ruining your jokes. God damn it.
So Whitney has the gall to come over to Clark and be like, hey, you know that was just a prank, right? Can I have Lana's necklace back, by the way? Because it's her favourite necklace.
No, credits Clark going, hey, no, you want it? Go find it. It's in the bloody woods or in the field. Go rummage around.
I couldn't believe. And do you know what the best part was? Is Clark walks out of the scene and Whitney's just standing there staring at him like he's upset, like he's just pissed him off.
Yeah, like what? Whitney's there going, what are you being such a dick for?
So that's complaint number one. Well, complaint number two, all the bug stuff before, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
We actually opened after the titles with this flying sequence, this dream sequence. The camera's going through the sky and then it's over Lana's bed and she looks up and says, all your fault. And then Clark actually wakes up and he's floating above his bed. And here's a big problem I have with this, right? And this is more of a retrospect thing than it being a problem on its own, is that the flying doesn't actually come in the show. I mean, technically there's something in season 4 where it kind of happens, but for him, flying doesn't really come until season 10. So in hindsight, I feel like teasing it this early on, like this, is a bit weird.
If I recall, they always go along the lines of, no, he has the ability, but he's not consciously, he's not okay with it. So, yeah, they bullshit around it for a long time. I
can kind of buy that from a logic perspective. I just think as a viewer, you see him floating in episode 2 of season 1, and then...
oh, he's going to fly soon.
Yeah, like, we're going to build up to that. So, yeah, it's just a hindsight thing. It's not a big deal.
That's one of those that we can complain about now, but as it aired, I don't think that would have been a criticism.
Well, yeah, I think as it aired, no one was thinking this is going to be 10 seasons long, and it'll be the last episode before he actually flies properly.
That is a good point.
Unless he's otherwise possessed or whatever.
Yes, other versions as well, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, so Farmer's Market. Lana... Lex actually is around and he's listening to things and he's getting his bald head into where it doesn't belong, and he ends up going to Clark, or Clark comes to him and he's like, hey, I got this necklace from the cornfield.
Sorry, can I talk about Lex at the farmer's market just wasting that apple? What a prick.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, like, he's talking to Clark, he's like, hey, can I have an apple? And Clark's like, yeah, sure, go on, have an apple, why not? They seem to just give them away to all the friends. I'm not sure if they're paying for them, because obviously they're there to sell. I'm not sure if any of the friends are actually giving them any money, or if they're just going, here, I'll have one of these. And, like, he takes like 2 bites out of this apple, then just chucks it back into their truck. No, doesn't take it with him, doesn't throw it on the floor, back the half-eaten apple back in with all the fresh apples. What a prick.
I can't.
I mean, that's more annoying than most of the shit Lex actually plans to do.
Yeah, my problem with Lex actually is not an acting problem. It's the way they still keep filming him and having the music as if he's going to be a villain.
Evil as shit. Yeah.
It's when he's looking at the necklace and I'm like, there's no reason to play this as ominous right now. And yeah, it's like
just no curiosity, understandable. It's like, hey, what's this?
Yeah,
play like that. That's perfectly fine. But this is like, oh, he's going to do something evil with this.
Yeah, I get it. It's just like they didn't really account for the fact that we're going to, go 3-4 seasons before properly turning them evil, right? So they're already like teasing it in episode 2, and it's like, no, we're going to their friendship's going to get a lot stronger before it gets worse.
Yeah, I can't remember if it does, but I really hope that kind of dies down once they realize, you know what, we're going to take some time with this. Yeah. We'll cool it on that stuff a bit.
Yeah, maybe
it might do.
Can't remember.
They might have, early on they might have thought, oh, we'll do that this season, and then, they change their minds halfway through or something.
So Lex goes to see Lana, who doesn't actually know. Not really. He's like, oh,
no, by reputation, essentially.
friend of your aunt's. Yeah. So and he gets to chatting, and he basically, as Lana puts it later, lays some breadcrumbs to find out about what Whitney did to Clark. And Clark comes home at one point, and he's actually got the necklace in the little. This is actually how he finds out about the lead. Which, by the way, was something that was again really bugging me in this episode is they really made a point of not so much when he found out it was in the lead box, because it does feel a little bit weird. I think from Lexi's perspective, why is he specifically asking what this is made of, kind of thing. It was a little bit clunky, not a big deal.
Yeah.
But later on, when he's fighting the bug boy, and he's got some kryptonite sort of infused in him, so he's hurting Clark when he's close to him, and Clark lands behind this block, and he's like, and he realizes that he's not hurt anymore, and then he says it loud, it's lined with lead.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that he's got lead kryptonite in him. I didn't think it was that. I think it was more just the area they were in had kryptonite.
Oh, was it? Okay, fair enough.
Because they made a point of saying, he was always dizzy when they came there as kids.
Yeah, and they said, he's got fear of heights. Very funny.
Yeah.
Superman, good fear of heights. So Lana's in the bar, and I was, here we go. Lana and Clark. The best part of episode 1 was them together and her getting all mopey and talking about what life means to her and her parents, her dead parents. My God, she goes on about her dead parents more than Batman does. So he comes in and he's walking up, and she's like, "This is amazing in here," and I'm like, "How is that amazing? It's a barn.
It's a barn. Yeah, it's a barn. He's got a sofa up there.
Yeah, he's got a sofa and a couple of board games and a telescope. Why is that amazing?"
It's nice. Don't get me wrong, but it's not amazing.
And yeah, he's like, "Oh yeah, my dad calls it my fortress of solitude."
Yeah. Do you know what I have to? Last week with Lois and Clark, we were saying the Superman line is kind of set up as Lois thinks of that because Lucy said it to her.
Oh yeah.
Is this could this play the same way essentially, where later when we actually get a fortress of solitude, would it be like he names it that because he had this and that was there? I can't remember if he chooses the name or not. Yeah,
I feel like I don't remember him choosing the name in that way. I just remember it being the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah, I don't remember if he chooses that or if the juror tells him it's that.
I feel like if you're working that out, that's you doing that, not the writers.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm really gonna go. Can it play that way?
And this is why it's clunky. You're making a weird little reference to something that's really specific in this case. Like Fortress of Solitude is a very specific phrase.
It is.
Very specific, so it feels really weird later on when he actually has a Fortress of Solitude, and he never, unless you go with the logic that he named it after his barn, because that's what his dad called it. Unless you go with that logic, it's just like, well, he never thinks, oh, that's what my dad called the barn. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I honestly can't remember, but I really hope he names it that, because if he does, at least I can justify it with this.
But of course, that's the least of our worries.
Oh yes, it is.
Because as I said, Lana then spends her time looking out there's what's not a window really, is it?
It's a hole.
Yeah, the big I don't know. Tell us in the comments, what's that big hole in the barn called? Is it a door? Is it a door?
It's up, isn't it? So it's upstairs. Well, it's too high to be a door.
You say that. Actually, you just reminded me of something. Back in my first school, there was a door halfway up the wall on the outside.
What?
I think it was there because there used to be stairs there or something, and when they remodeled, they took the stairs, but the door was still there.
That's amazing.
So there was just a random door.
You'd always want to walk through that door, wouldn't you?
On the floor, obviously just one up, but it was just there.
I stand corrected. It could be a door. I don't think it is, but it could be.
You made me think of that, because I agree. It's halfway up.
You have given fair precedence of that it's plausible.
Yeah. I mean, it's more obvious it's a door because it was the door shape, there's a handle. All the door, trimmings.
All those bells and whistles.
What makes a door a door?
Yeah, this really is just a hole.
Where was I going? Oh yeah, so
Lana, yeah.
Kristin Kreuk and Tom Welling, they're our leads. And all I could think during this scene when they're talking about, oh, my parents, oh, my favourite necklace has gone missing, I want to apologise for Whitney, it can be this, and he's like, oh, I'm glad you're here, and, I've wanted to see, he's like, oh, you can see my house from here. All I could think during this entire scene was, these two both slept with someone to get these roles, because this was not acting ability.
No, it was. That awkward moment where she's like, "Oh, you can see my house from here," and he's like, "Oh, can you really? Didn't know." And just knocks the telescope up because, like I said, he leaves it pointing at a house. Anyone can just walk in and go, "Hey, you know you're looking at Lana's house, right?"
Dear, and the whole thing. How could you cast two people this bad? I don't understand it. It's horrendous.
It's pretty atrocious.
I almost like sometimes when it's just a little bit with her, it's not as bad. But in this scene where it's just them two like talking back and forth, and again she gets mopey about her parents. She's talking about, oh, I know it's weird, but it's it's a piece of. I
can't wait till she has a character beyond mopey parent shit. There's gonna be something. I mean, I'm sure there's more than that at some point.
Yeah, she's two things right now. She's moping about her parents constantly. But and still not becoming Batman. That at least make her useful. Or she is something that Whitney is constantly terrified that someone's trying to steal from him. Because he thinks Bug Boy, of course, after he goes through his metamorphosis, he's all, these spots are all gone and he's got his hair slicked back, he's all normal looking. But by the way, that was the other awkward Superman reference I wanted to bring up. Because he sneaks up behind Lana at the fair, and she turns around and goes, oh shoot, I didn't recognise you without your glasses. I'm like, oh, very good. Yeah. That wasn't actually that bad, but still, it bugged me.
I'm telling you, Spider-Man 3 took influence from this episode.
Are we just going to gloss over my bugged me pun?
I am. I very intentionally did.
Okay. What was that douchebag's name anyway? Greg. That was his name.
Greg.
Yeah, it's baffling to me. The funny thing is that, I mean, you've got people on the show who are obviously good. I think Jonathan Kent, of course, what's his name? John Schneider.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. He's got a nice little moment where he's like, it's after he's been attacked by the Bug Boy. Bug Boy's showed up to attack him because now he thinks that, Clark's important to her, so he wants to take him out now. And he pushes Jonathan Kent over the thing into the big sort of turbine, yeah. And Clark sort of goes down in his super speed to block his fall. And there's a lot of things where it's like, oh, this is out, this can't be true. This is all tall tales. This can't be real. And Martha is like, hey, says the guy who's had a spaceship hidden in his barn for 12 years, and it just lingers on him for a good couple of minutes where he's like,
honestly, John Kent has the moment of the episode for me. It's after Clark saves Whitney.
Yeah, I saw that on. Yeah.
And Clark's like, I saved him, and John's like, yeah, no, we're proud of you. You did good. There's no, you shouldn't have done that. Be careful, he didn't see you. It's just like, no, we're proud of you. You did good. You saved him.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm actually getting sick of already, though? Is that I need them to stop thinking Clark's hurt and then being surprised when he's not. Like, okay, can we get past that?
That can only last so long. Yeah. Because I think up till, last episode, they didn't know that he was indestructible, right? They knew he was stronger, but when he puts his hand in the wood chipper, that was a shock to him.
Yeah, it makes sense that he's not tried to hurt himself before. Exactly. The car crash proved it to himself that. But hey, so by the way, that fire effect when he was holding Whitney looked really bad.
Rough.
Yeah.
I mean, the car explosion itself, solid.
No, but the fire that goes around him is really bad looking.
Yeah.
Also really bad looking is Bug Boy jumping.
Oh no! Do you know what takes the cake for worse though?
Oh, go on.
Bug Boy's web thing at his mother out of his mouth.
Oh yeah.
That takes the cake as the worst effect of the episode. Easily.
I don't know, the jumping was more often. And after he kills himself, because of course, this is another thing I forgot about Smallville, is that all the villains of the week who find out Clark has superpowers conveniently die. Not no, Clark doesn't kill them, but they conveniently die so that no one knows his identity.
Yeah, I feel like there's one soon-ish that goes just like in a mental hospital, and so no one believes them.
But given how many Freak of the Week episodes this is going to have, it's kind of insane.
It's a lot of dead kids.
Is anyone in the school left by the time we get to season 3? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Who's still moving to Smallville and doing this?
Oh god. So I kind of liked seeing with obviously Allison Mack.
Solid.
Yeah. I said Allison Mack, it's not Allison. That is Allison Mack.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doubting myself. I'm thinking of The Secret World of Alex Mack. I was thinking I said her name by accident.
You didn't. You got it right. Don't worry.
I liked that show as a kid.
I never watched it.
I watched that, no. It was a fun little superhero show. Anyway, so I like that scene. She's kind of pointing out, hey Clark, you always do that where you kind of don't tell us what you're actually doing. Like, because he asked for info on Bug Boy, and she sort of gives him a bit of an answer.
Tries to run off.
And tries to just run off, and he's like, hey, don't do that, don't shut me out. Like, let us help.
I like that she's calling him on his shit.
She's basically saying, hey, I mean, she doesn't know he's got powers yet, but, like, if we're going to be a Scooby Gang, let's be a Scooby Gang. Don't.
It is. It's like, let's not fight this. Let's just do this.
Yeah, so she gets some info from a wall of beard and whatnot, and they go snooping into Bug Boy's house, finds the dead mum and the Papa Roach poster, the aforementioned.
Yes.
Papa Roach poster.
And all the creepy Lana stuff.
The creepy Lana stuff, which his mother, by the way, did find as well. She knew her son was...
That was how the episode starts, pretty much. For her, it was like, hey, this is weird. Stop doing this.
And what's funny about it, actually, is thinking is, like, the video taping her doesn't really play that much into the episode all that much, really. I mean,
it's just to show his obsession.
Yeah, it's proof that he's obsessed with her, but, like, you could, like, take it out, and it would probably not affect that much.
Yeah, I think the only thing that it really does is it has the mother have a reason to discover it, which is, which leads to why he kills her, because she's really going at him then. Yeah. But I mean, there are other ways to do it. It's just not that bad though. As far as the ideas go, that one doesn't really bother me.
Oh, it doesn't bother me. I'm just like, it never really played into the plot in a big way, because I thought it was going to build to, like, using the footage for something.
This guy's creepy as shit. Look, he's going around filming it without knowing.
Yeah, that's the thing though, there's no subtleties.
What it is like, when we kill him at the end, you're not going to care.
Yeah, he's so cliche creepy, like, the whole time, to again, like, a ridiculous degree, that it just, he plays off as a caricature. He's not a real person in any way at all, so... So Clark fights him a little bit, and that.
Yeah, whatever.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, done.
I like the song at the end.
Yeah, so the end's okay. It's not the Goo Goo Dolls. The Goo Goo Dolls were last episode, I think, but
yeah, this was Lifehouse.
Lifehouse. It was. Yeah, yeah, you're right. It sounds a lot like the Goo Goo Dolls though, which is what I was thinking about, because I was like, is this a Goo Goo Dolls song again? And I was like, no.
Yeah, it's similar. But no. I do like the song, and I think that's the source music is one of these things where I go, yeah, this is proto CW, because they do that a lot.
They do, not as often as this show does though. This show doesn't. I mean, this episode had like 4 songs in it.
I think it's got more than that.
At least 4 that I can remember off the top of my head.
I mean, we've mentioned 4 because you've got. So there's the Papa Roach one.
There's the Weezer one. Lifehouse at the end.
Lifehouse at the end. There's the one where Whitney's driving along.
Yes, right, that's 4.
That's 4 right there, just without even thinking. I'm sure there's others as well.
And I feel like they all really emphasise the song as well. It's not just in the background, it's always like front and centre.
Yeah, like the end one I get. That's the end montage thing. Alright, fine.
Yeah, and of course Clark gives the necklace back, but in secret, by not using it as a sort of, like, like me, because I found the necklace.
It's not, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wait, it's like, okay, don't get me wrong, yeah.
It's a nice enough thing.
If you're developing Clark Kent, then that makes a lot of sense to do it that way. I just, I don't know. I just
Oh, what have we got next week?
I don't know what we've got next week. Do we? I think we have fire.
What's the episode name? I think I'll see if I can.
We either have a fire villain or an ice villain. No, it's the fire. It's Hothead.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was one of those though.
When's Fat Amy Adams? That's got to be soon, right? I remember that being really early.
Yeah, that's like episode 5 or 6, I think.
Cool. Looking forward to that one.
I don't think we're going to get there before we get back to CW stuff.
I don't know.
That'll be like the big first thing we do in summer as we get Fat Amy
come
Adams.
back to see us talk about Amy Adams.
Yes, in our last Superman-related role ever.
Yes, that never happened again.
Yeah, never happened again. So it's saying something that... I mean, she's not bad as Lois, obviously, but it's saying something that I hate Batman v Superman so much that I will take Fat Amy Adams and shitty episode of Smallville over it.
Yeah. I know, this is the thing. Like, that says how much I really despise that universe for all the problems with Smallville. This John Kent is, like, a million times better. This is John Kent. Like, it is.
Oh, yeah, no. John Kent's pretty good. Martha's okay. I like Chloe. And Lex, from an acting point of view, is okay. They play everything with him really on the nose. That I don't particularly like.
They overplay it, but I still like him.
Lana is just, Clark is just, and honestly, Pete has, like, at least, I mean, it's only been 2 episodes, but he has nothing to do. He's just kind of there.
Was he even in this episode?
He was with them in the house.
Oh, yeah, it was for, like, 2 scenes.
He's basically just always there for Chloe to talk to.
You're right. So it's it makes sense that, okay, once Chloe knows, that's when we can get rid of Pete.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because you don't need him after that.
Because they get rid of Pete in season 3, and then...
Do you know what it is on a more condensed version that we've seen more recently? You know, Arrow? You know how the start of that show, we had him narrating everything, and it was really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got Diggle on the team. It's like, okay, well, I've got someone to talk to now, so I don't need to narrate everything. Pete is the narration. It's like Chloe needs to talk to someone. She can't just narrate. And it's like, well, once she's there with Clark, well, we don't need Pete anymore.
Yeah, that makes some sense. Oh well, I guess that's a Smallville episode 2.
Yeah.
Oh God, this was
maybe a mistake, but we have committed.
I sent a message to Connor before I hit the opening title saying this is awful.
I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep during this episode. And then I had to go through and find where I'd fallen asleep. It was 12 minutes in.